So now, ang pag-usapan natin ngayon here ay nawala ako. Naririnig pa ba ako?
Yes po, sir.
Ayan, naririnig pa ba ako? Hello, hello? Naririnig ba ako? Thumbs up nga kung naririnig ako. Yan, okay. So, ang topic natin ngayon dito sa may ACNAX ay ATC transponder. Yan. So, pag sinabi sa inyong ATC transponder, ano una-unang pumapasok sa inyong isipan? Meron ba?
Sir, paulit po yung tanong, sir. Medyo choppy po.
Sa ATC transponder, ay, meron bang pumapasok sa inyong isipan pag sinabing transponder? ATC transponder. Sige, mag-type muna. Ano. Feeling ko nagta-type yung iba para merong masagot. Go lang. Yes, Redondo.
Sir, hula lang po pero pang-transmit po ng signal sa aircraft traffic controller po.
Okay. Sige, thank you. Nandun naman, okay. Nagtatransmission ng signal sa may ATC. Tama naman. Pero sa tingin ano yung main reason? Bakit nandiyan yung instrument na yan? Si transponder. Wala? Alright. So, kung hahanapin natin sa may Google, isi-search nyo. Sa ATC transponder, ginagamit siya to give information dun sa may ATC. So, si ATC, which is the air traffic controller. So, ang information na binibigay ay sa airplane's location, in space, and in most cases, yung altitude ay binibigay ni transponder. So, yung instrument na to can identify an airplane uniquely and serves the main purpose of helping ATC keep airplanes separated all in the service of safety and travel. Yun yung ginagawa ni transponder. So, ulitin lang natin, si air traffic controller systems enable the ground controllers to maintain the safe separation of the aircraft both on the ground and in the air. Okay, si ATC. So, yung system na to is based on the secondary surveillance radar. Sulat ko. Wait, guys. Okay. Susulat natin, Ay, mali. Yan. Yung SSR ay Secondary Surveillance Radar. And Itong system na 'to, ulitin natin, si secondary surveillance radar enhanced with high-integrity digital data links including the ATC Mode S and Automatic Dependent Surveillance Broadcast or ADSB. Yan. So dito mapag-usapan natin about the communication, navigation, and the surveillance na ginagamit for the air traffic management. Yan, dahil nabanggit natin si secondary surveillance radar. Okay, dito muna tayo. Balik tayo sa umpisa. Kay ATC. So ATC overview. So the primary radar, the high energy is directed via an antenna to illuminate a target. So this could be an aircraft, the ground, or water droplets in a cloud. So in this case of the primary radar, the energy is reflected from the aircraft's body to provide range and azimuth measurement. Okay, so kung titignan nyo dito sa may image na to, okay, nandyan si primary surveillance radar. Kung titignan nyo, nandyan si tower. Okay, ito si tower. Yung tower na yan, kung babasahin nyo, rotating radar antenna. So, nagro-rotate yan ng 360 and nagsisend yan ng PSR. Okay? So, si primary surveillance radar, ayan yung sinisend niya or hinahanapan niya ng target. Okay? Yan yung sinasabi natin. Nag-illuminate siya and hinahanapan niya yung a target. Yung target na yun, ayun yung si aircraft. Or pwedeng nandyan na yung ground or water droplets sa cloud. So, yung target na yun, okay, target na yun, once na-receive, okay, nag-send ng signal kay aircraft, okay, na-receive kay aircraft, ang gagawin naman ni aircraft is magre-reply yan. Okay? So, yung transponder magre-reply. So, response from the aircraft with coded information. So, hindi na kailangan magpakilala ni aircraft. Okay? Dahil meron na siyang sinisend na information. Yung information na yun is yun yung mga yung flight ng aircraft. Ayan. Diyan na yun. So, nagkakaroon siya ng parang interrogation. Yun nangyayari. Pero yung interrogation na yun is through sending links lang or data. So, ulitin natin, magsisend yan ng signal and magsisend back si aircraft ng signal. Kaya dun din nade-determine kung kalaban ba or hindi yung aircraft. Okay? Dun nalalaman. Okay? So, ibig sabihin kahit di siya magpakilala, merong transponder na magsisend. So, once na mali yung code na yon, okay? So, ibig sabihin, hindi kilala yung aircraft na yon or ibang aircraft. So, ibig sabihin, enemy aircraft siya na pumasok doon sa may aerospace nung airport. So, the ATC's primary radar system places the target on a plan position indicator or PPI. So, kung titignan din natin dito sa may primary surveillance radar, one of the disadvantage is that the amount of energy being transmitted is very large compared with the amount of energy being reflected to the target. So, small targets or those with poor reflecting surfaces could further reduce the reflected energy. So, lahat ng mga natural and man-made obstacles such as mountains and wind farms also shield the radar. Okay? Yung sa primary surveillance radar, kung titignan nyo dito sa image, okay, malakas yung sinisend niyang signal, pero yung bumabalik is maliliit lang. So, yun yung disadvantage. So, pag mga small targets, minsan hindi na nare-reflect back. Yun nangyayari kay primary surveillance radar. Kaya, syempre, nandito si SSR. Okay? Nandyan yung SSR. Si secondary surveillance radar transmit a specific low energy signal or tinatawag na interrogation. So, same lang sinabi ko kanina. Okay? Halos same. Okay? Kay SSR naman, yan, medyo mas okay na siya. Kasi nagtatransmit siya ng specific low energy signal or tinatawag na interrogation to a known target. So, the secondary radar was developed during the Second World War to differentiate between the friendly aircraft and ships. So, this was called the identification friends or foe, yung IFF. Yan yung sinasabi natin kanina. Diyan na-determine kay transponder kung kalaban nga ba siya or friendly yung aircraft. So, yung signal na sinesend is analyzed by a transponder and a new or secondary signal is pag hindi nag-reflect back is yun na yung nangyari. Hindi siya nagre-reflect. Iba yung code na sinasabi nung mismong tower or nung aircraft. Hindi siya nag-send. So, in the aircraft control system, the primary and the secondary radar antennas are mounted on the same rotating assembly. So, thereby providing a coordinated system. So, the ATC system operates on two frequencies within the L band of the radar. Okay, meron siyang two frequencies. So, the interrogation code or sinesend nilang code on a 1030 MHz carrier wave and yung reply code sila ay nasa bandang 1090 MHz carrier wave. So, hindi same yung tawag dito, yung radio frequency na ginagamit nila kung sila ay magkakaroon ng interrogation and reply. Okay, so ulitin natin. Sa interrogation, codes is meron siyang 130 megahertz and sa reply is 1030 and sa reply is 1090 megahertz. So, yun yung nangyayari sa kanya. Okay, nasusundan. Ganun lang naman siya. Okay. So, kaya kung mapapansin nyo, sa ATC display, okay, kung titignan natin dito yung display, okay, na kung napapansin nyo sa mga movies, yeah, sure, oo, nabasa ko yun. Go lang. Okay, sa ATC, okay, or sa mga radars, yung color green, okay, kung tama yung code nyo, dun yung nakikita sa ATC. Mamaya papakita ko din yung isang example kung ano itsura niya. Pero feeling ko na-imagine nyo naman na siya yung bilog na may radar na green or any color white lumalabas. And pag nagkaroon na ng interrogation, lumalabas yung information ng aircraft. Ganun yung nangyari. Ito pala, sorry. Ayan. So, kung titignan nyo dito, ayan. Ayan yung common example sa radar. So, the primary radar system provide a single icon per aircraft on the ATC controller display. So, this means that each icon will look similar depending upon the amount of reflected energy. So, an aircraft would have no change in direction in order for it to uniquely identified. So, kaya nandyan si SSR, transponder system, each icon can be identified via unique 4-digit codes allocated by the aircraft flight. Okay? So, ulit natin. Ina-allocate siya ng ATC kung anong code ng aircraft na yun. So, kaya kilala nila kung sino talaga yung aircraft. So, technically, nakikita nyo dyan, ayan, yung number 1, lalabas dyan yung flight code or yung call sign nila. Sa number 2, identicator ng altitude change. Okay? And nakikita nyo dyan. Nandyan. Nandyan din yung altitude. So, number 3, allocated assigned travel speed. Yan. Number 4, real altitude. And sa number 5, and pwede silang magpakita dun kung ano na nangyayari sa kanila. Yan. Lumalabas na dyan kung low fuel or any information na pwede nilang i-type. Pero hindi sobrang haba. So, ganyan yung example na makikita nyo. Ayan. Ng mga ATC na lumalabas. And yung information na nakikita nila doon sa screen. Yan. So, ito, additional information. Okay. Pag sinabi nating ADSB out refers to the aircraft broadcasting ownership information. Okay. The position, the altitude, velocity, etc. to other aircraft and ground-based surveillance system. And ADSB in refers to an aircraft's ability to receive the ADSB information, mga message from the aircraft or traffic information broadcast, automatic dependent surveillance rebroadcast from the ground infrastructure. Okay, nasusundan kung anong binibigay na information ni ATC transponder or ng transponder. Yan. So, meron tayong mga different na transponder modes. Okay? ATC transponder modes na mas common na pinag-uusapan. So, CSSR systems have developed for both military and commercial aircraft applications. A summary of commercial aircraft mode is as follows. Meron tayong Mode A, C, and S. So, sa Mode A, ayan. Sa Mode A, in this transponder system, si pilot selects the 4-digit code on the ATC control panel prior to each flight. Okay? Sa Mode A, ulitin natin, si pilot yung nagseselect ng 4-digit code on the ATC control panel. Si SSR system confirms this aircraft azimuth on the controller screen with an icon confirming that the aircraft is equipped with transponder. So, if the controller needs to distinguish between two aircraft in close proximity, an identity code will be requested. So the pilot pushes a switch on his ATC control panel and he highlights the icon on the controller screen. Baka hindi nyo na masyado nafa-follow, balik tayo dito. Okay? Example dito, sa nakikita nyo yung screen. Kung may magkalapit na aircraft na ganyan, okay, at hindi na-identify ni ATC kung ano yung kung anong aircraft sila. Okay? Hihingi yun ng information dun sa may aircraft. Okay? And then, ang gagawin lang nila is pipindutin nila yung transponder para lumabas yung ganitong information. Okay? Hopefully nasusundan. And ganito lang yung tinatype yan. Yan. So, kung titignan nyo, okay, since each aircraft is allocated with a unique code, only one icon per aircraft will be highlighted. So, this unique identification is known as squawk code. So, each of the 4 digit ranges from 0 to 7. And these are then coded as octal numbers for use by transponder. Okay, so tina-type nila dito yung code and ito yung lalabas doon mismo sa ATC. Yan, ta-type nila kung ano yung code nila. And then, di ba sinabi is, pag may magkalapit na aircraft, pipindutin nila yung identification. So, yung identification is young part. So pag pinindot na nila, hindi na nila kailangan magsalita sa ATC. Okay? Ng mga following information. So pipindutin lang nila yan and magsushow na ng information automatically from the ATC. Okay. Mode C. So sa mode C is the azimuth is now augmented by pressure altitude. So this is displayed on the controller screen adjacent to the aircraft icon, thereby providing three-dimensional information. Okay, so meron na siyang altitude and provide three-dimensional information. So altitude can be taken from the pilot's altimeter from an encoder that sends a parallel data to the transponder. So this coded is a 100-foot increment. Okay? Kung kanina sa mode A is yung mga information. Okay. Meron yan. Nadadagdagan lang information. Sa mode C is meron na siyang three-dimensional. So aircraft with air data computers will send altitude to the transponder in serial data form, typically yung ARINC 429. Yan. Mga possible ko na ipagawa sa inyo. Sa search nyo lang naman kung ano yung mga ibig sabihin yan. So, ito yung mga nakikita doon sa may aircraft. Okay? Madalas yung nakikita sa avionics compartment. So, itong ARINC 49 establish how avionics equipment and system communicate on the commercial aircraft. So, the specification defines electrical characteristics, word structures, and protocol necessary to establish bus communication. So, ulitin natin, itong 429, bus communication for word structure, electrical characteristic, and other protocols na sinasabi is yung mga nandyan na yung transmitter and receiver and lahat ng data transmitted over a single twisted pair in one direction. Okay, so ito yung ginagamit for transmitting and dito din, okay, kaya nilang makareceive up to 20 receivers. Okay? So, kung babalikan ulit natin yung itong screen, ganitong screen, yan, ganyang screen, sinasabi natin 20 receivers. So, pag ikaw ay nag-transmit ng signal, okay, kayang lumabas doon sa may screen mo is 20, okay, 20 na aircraft. Okay? Kung yan, bibilang nyo lang to. Mali. 1, 2, 3. Basta yan. Ganyan. Umaabot ng 20 yung possible mo makikita sa screen. Ano, nasusundan ba o hindi? O meron kayong katanungan? Wala naman? Okay, so walang katanungan. So kung titignan natin sa ATC modes, hindi ko na nabanggit yung S, pero ito yung pinakasama rin yung tatlo. So the mode A transponder or mode alpha, so the most basic mode, operating a transponder in a mode A will only show the selected squawk code on the controller screen. Okay? Yung squawk code lang. So mode C or mode Charlie combines the basic details of Mode A with a pressure altitude. Katulad ng sinabi natin kanina, giving the ACT controllers a readout of the aircraft's altitude on their screen. So, sinasama yung altitude. And then sa Mode S, or Mode Sierra, is the most advanced of the three and the most common and modern commercial aircraft. So, the added benefit of Mode S, it allows ACAS and TCAS and ADSB yung information. Okay? And pwede ka na, nakikita din yung TCAS doon, yung lumalabas sa ating yung Terrain Collision Avoidance System. Yan. Yan na yung information na pwedeng lumabas doon sa Mode S. So, kung titignan natin dito, the collision avoidance, yung ACAS and TCAS. So, pag sinabi nating ACAS, the Airborne Collision and Avoidance System, and the TCAS is the Traffic Collision and Avoidance Systems, are system on board the aircraft that receive transponder signals from nearby aircraft through a series of antennas on the aircraft. So this allows the system to calculate the bearing and distance of other nearby aircraft. So if yung ACAS and TCAS projects the aircraft will fly too close to another traffic, mag-a-alarm siya dun sa may cockpit. Okay? So ulitin natin, syempre, pag ACAS, nag-a-alarm yan pag may kasalubong na aeroplano. Yan, airborne collision. And then sa TCAS naman, is yung terrain. So kung mapapansin nyo sa mga aircraft, okay, pag mababa na kayo, yung aircraft, lumalabas dyan, terrain, pull up. So, yan yung sa may TCAS. And then, when we talk about the ADS-B, okay, syempre, pag sinabi nating ADS-B is a system where an aircraft derives its position by satellite navigation and broadcast its position to ground stations, and can be used in place of a normal air traffic controller radar surveillance in places where there are no radars. Additionally, it allows other aircraft to receive its position in order to provide the separation. Okay? So, ADS-B. So, lalagay natin. So, sinabi natin dito, di ba? Is system where an aircraft derives its position by satellite navigation and broadcast its position to ground station. So, ginagamit si ADS-B, nilalagay siya sa normal traffic control radar in place where there are no radars. So, hindi abot. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo, example, ito yung point A. Yan, ito yung point B. Okay, ito, abot to ng radar. And ito. So, nilalagay si ADS-B in between na kung saan wala yung radar. Ito. So, may ADS-B dyan, ADS-B, or here. So, once na, okay, may dumaan na aircraft, ayan, nalolocate nila yung aircraft. Ganun din dito. Yan, kung pupunta yung aircraft dyan and dito, so si ATC is napoprovide nila yung separation. Yung separation na yan, na sinasabi is para nakakausap nila. So, ito yung aircraft. Siyempre, alam niyo naman yung separation. Yung separation niyan ng dalawa, siyempre dapat hindi magkalapit yan. Mostly nasa 1,000 feet ata or 500. Ganun din sa harap. Okay, ganun kalalayo. So, si ADS-B, yan. Automatic, dependent. surveillance broadcast. Si dependent, it depends on the data from the aircraft navigation system. Si surveillance, tinatransmit niya yung aircraft position and it periodically broadcasts the aircraft position to ground stations and other aircraft. So, ulitin natin, kaya nandyan si ADS-B. So, once na nandyan yung tower ni ADS-B, okay, na-locate nila yung bawat aircraft na lumilipad, lalo na sa mga hindi abot nung radar. Okay, nasusundan? May tanong ba? Wala. Okay, good. Madali lang naman to. More on words lang. Okay, so balik tayo dito, no? Added information sa transponder. So, ginagamit si transponder. Usually, nire-request siya or departure clearance via data link about 30 minutes prior to the expected pushback time. So, with the clearance ng ATC, will assign a squawk code and it's at its point that we enter it to the transponder. Okay? So, bago ka lumipad, 30 minutes bago ka lumipad, nagtatanong ka na kung ano yung code mo. So, yung code na to, i-input mo dun sa may pinakita natin kanina, which is ito. Ayan. ATC control panel or ganito. So, dito ini-input, binibigay ni ATC. So, yan, nakalagay dyan, normally, we leave the transponder on standby until we're ready to push. Once we have the door closed and the pushback track waiting, we select the transponder on. So, the transponder ground mode will allow the ATC ground control to see as on screen. So, part siya ng surface movement radar. Okay, so dun pa lang, okay, bago ka lumipad, nakikita na nila kung nasaan yung position ng aircraft sa may screen nila. So, ulitin natin, itong transponder panel is normally located sa may center console and contains a number of selection buttons. So, ATC on the left side signifies the transponder section, while on the right indicates the TCAS mode selectors along with the ident button. Okay, so mostly ito for ATC and nandito yan for TCAS. Yan, mas malapit sa ATC. Ayan, ATC TCAS. So, transponder mode selector. Okay, dun tayo kay transponder mode. Siyempre, pag standby, ito si standby. Nakikita niyo dito si standby mode. Both transponders are powered but not transmitting. So, hindi pa siya nagtatransmit ng signal. Pag nilagay mo yung selector sa on or auto, on the ground, the selected transponder operates in mode S only or selective interrogation. So, transponder selector or XPDR, ito, nakikita nyo dito, meron tayong 1 and 2. So, nandyan yung 1 and 2. So, select either transponder 1 or transponder 2. Siyempre, alam naman natin na kailangan ng system redundancy. So, hindi lang dapat yung equipment mo ay iisa. So, dapat dalawa. Kaya meron kang transponder 1 and transponder 2. So, this is used in the event o pag nagsira yung isa, meron nga pang selector para gamitin yung isa. So, nandito naman yung ALT, RPTG, altitude reporting. So, yung ALT, RPTG ay altitude reporting. So, dapat sineselect ko, it's either on or off. So if selected on, si transponder transmit the aircraft's altitude based on the standard biometric data. Okay? So nandito is nasasama nila sa data yung altitude nila. And nandito yung ATC, fail light. Okay? Yan si ATC fail light. Siyempre, alam naman natin yan, fail light. So, mag-illuminate yan in the event of the failure of the selected transponder. Ito. Ayan. 1 and 2. Baka sabihin, sir, paano pag sira yung dalawa? Eh, di sira yung dalawa. So, meron ka man namang radio pa din to communicate na sasabihin nyo, sira si transponder. Nasusundan? Yan. So, nandito naman, ayan, ident switch. Okay? Ident switch. So, if instructed by ATC, okay, pag sinabihan sa inyo, pinunin yung ident switch, the crew will press the ident switch, which transmit the aircraft identification signal. So, this may also be used in the event of radio failure to indicate the crew are receiving ATC transmission but cannot reply. Okay? So, di ba, meron niyang message. Okay? Pag sira ang radyo and okay pa naman yung ATC, pinipindot niyang ident switch. Nandoon naman yung may short message doon kung ano yung nangyari sa aircraft. So, yan. Example lang din. Ganyan yung possible na makikita. Okay? Some aircraft. Ito yung aircraft mo and makikita mo dyan if merong mga aircraft sa paligid mo. Yan. Kaya kailangan din ng transponder. Susundan na. So, sa TCAS traffic selector. Ayan. So, sa TCAS traffic selector, the traffic selector, as name implies, allows us to filter out certain traffic during or depending on our requirements. So, nandito, kung titignan nyo to, THRT. Okay? Threat yan. THRT. Proximate and other intruders are displayed only when a TA, okay, or RA is present and they are within 2,700 feet, okay, of the aircraft. Okay? So, yung TANRA, traffic alert, ito yan, traffic alert and resolution advisory. Okay? Ulitin natin, traffic alert and resolution advisory. So, ulitin natin, pag nakaselect yung threat, to, select mo si threat. Okay? Lalabas dito lahat ng present, okay, sa screen mo within 2,700 feet of the aircraft. Okay? Yung mga proximate and other intruders. Pag nilagay mo siya sa all, okay, sinelect mo yung all, lahat ng traffic within 2,700 feet is display. Okay? So, iba yun, sir. Ba't parang parehas lang? No. Sa TANRE is tawag dito, lahat to ng moving na lahat ng papalapit sa'yo or mas near. And then sa all, yung gumagalaw around dun sa aircraft. And then pag sinelect mo yung above, yan, ABV, above traffic, okay, 9,900 feet above to 2,700 feet below is display. Okay, ayun yung naka-display. Pag sinelect mo yung above. And then, nandyan naman yung below. Okay. Traffic, 9,900 feet below is shown as well as traffic up down ng 2,700 feet above. So, this is the normal selection in the cruise where pag ikaw ay yung high level, having a knowledge of aircraft below is important in the event of an emergency descent, for example. Yan. So, sa TCAS selector, okay, TCAS mode selector, on the right of the transponder, nandyan yung traffic collision avoidance system. So, si TCAS system receives the broadcast from other aircraft, and if it is predict aircraft will come too close, it will issue the avoiding action instruction. Okay? So, meron niyang TA and RA. So, traffic alert and resolution advisory is the normal position, and sineselect yung mode na yan prior to line up on the runway, during taxi, out, and after landing. So, sineselect yung mode na to standby. So, the TA and RA mode will display lahat ng traffic alerts and resolution advisory provided ng altitude reporting. Dapat selected yung altitude reporting kung nakaselect yung TA and RA mo. It's either naka-on or auto. Sa TA, okay, yung mga traffic alert. So, traffic alert mode is used in the case of the aircraft degraded performance. So, katulad ng event of an engine failure or inability to retract the landing gear. Ayan. Baka may mga ganung nagre-report. So, lalagay mo sa TA, baka merong nag-traffic alert. So, TAs, proximate traffic, and other intruders are displayed, and all RA or resolution advisories are converted to TAs. Yun lang naman. So, ganito yung example or part ng transponder is on standby. Ayan yung possible na nakikita. The transponder element still operates normally, but the TCAS is unavailable. Pero dito, sa nakikita nyo itong image na to, okay? Ayan. So, sa TCAS, ayan, kung nakaselect sa TCAS mo, iba ba kasi ito eh. So, example, this one. May pumasok sa intruder. Mag-alert na yan. And traffic alert, pumasok within 3.3 nautical miles, and resolution advisories. So, may magsasabi na dito kung ano na ang gagawin mo. Kung parang left or right or mag-up or down ka. Yan. Yan na yung mangyayari sa aircraft. So, bibigyan ka ng resolution advisory kung ano na yung gagawin mo. So, same lang din yan dito. Sa baba. Ito, yung sa taas time, ito yung altitude. So, mostly, 1,000 feet nga. Yan. Katulad ng sinabi, ito nga 850. So, dapat yung separation ng aircraft nyo is 1,000 feet up and down. Okay? Magkakaroon na siya ng resolution advisory pag mga 600 feet or 500. Dahil sobrang lapit na nun. Magbabanggaan na kayo. So, ayan. Nagkaroon na kayo, at least meron kayong idea about the transponder and the TCAS. And ito yung squawk codes na sinasabi natin. So, there's some squawk codes that are reserved for a certain situation, lalo na for emergency. So, setting this squawk code will trigger an alarm in the ATC center, monitoring the flight, and will also alert nearby sectors of the emergency. So, most common na kilala sa mga squawk code. Okay? Most common. So, the squawk code. Siyempre, pag nilagay mo dun sa ATC transponder mo is 7500, ikaw ay na-hijack. Pag nilagay mo ay 7600, meron kang radio communication failure, and 7700 is general emergency or mayday. So, ina-alert yun na yung ATC unit in the use that aircraft is experiencing an emergency and may not be able to comply with the ACC instruction. Kung hindi naman sila magsulat, ito, pwede maglagay ito. Pwede na sabihin 75 taken alive, yan. Pwede nila sabihin 76 in a fix, and 77 on the way to heaven. So, yan yung mga squawk codes na pwede nilang i-input doon sa transponder. Ito yung squawk, okay, na ina-assign ng ATC. Okay, yung syempre yung isa sinabi natin is mga reserved for emergencies, and yung iba, ito, example to for the US. Meron naman doon sa Philippines, ganun din naman. Same lang din naman pag pumapasok ka. So, kada lipad mo naman, siniset naman ng ATC kung ano yung squawk code mo. So, pwede naman siya magkapare-pareho. Kasi, inform naman yun ng ATC kung ano yung mga squawk talaga nila. So, kung titignan nyo dito, from squawk 1000, may be used by the ATC and can interrogate the mode S transponder of the aircraft to receive the aircraft call sign. Pag umabot ka na ng 1,200, VFR squawk, pero sa United States. 2,000, used when entering the airspace without an assigned code. Crossing the ocean with squawk 2,000 before reaching the landfall. Squawk ng 7,000, okay? VFR squawk ng rest of the world. And yung mga nabanggit natin kanina, 75, 76, and 77. Pag nilagay mo sa squawk code mo ay 777, used in the US for military aircraft engaged in intercept operation without ATC clearance. May tanong ba kayo? Wala? Wala kayong tanong? Sure wala kayong tanong Masyado bang mabilis? Hindi naman. Okay, so nandito naman yung radar altimeter. Okay? So, pag pinag-usapan natin si radar altimeter, or let's say radio altimeters, works on the principle of electromagnetic wave pulses being reflected by the terrain. So, yung mga terrain na yun, it's either Earth's or sea surface. So, these waves are part of the radio spectrum. Yan. So, yung mga electromagnetic waves travel at the speed of light, calculating the distance is almost instantaneous. So, mga radio altimeters are a reliable and precise way of measuring the height, despite being impacted by the surface irregularities which create deviation in the radio signal. So, ito pala, no? Para mabilis natin inindihin, okay, ginagamit, example, ito si aircraft. Ayan, si radio altimeter. Okay, sinasabi, mas reliable siya in measuring the height. So, kasi si altimeter, okay, nagagawa yan, nagtatransmit yan ng signal to the terrain, and nire-reflect back and doon na determine yung height ng aircraft. So, radar altimeter. So, ulitin natin, sa radar altimeter measures the absolute altitude. So, the altitude of the aircraft is above the ground or tinatawag natin above ground level. So, the radar altimeter system sends out radio waves and that radio waves bounces off the ground and is received. Okay? Ganun lang yun. So, pinakita ko kanina, magta-transmit and magre-receive lang din si aircraft mismo. So, AGL is computed by taking the speed of the radio wave and the amount of time for it takes to be returned. So, unlike radar, the signal is not pulse but FM and is transmitted at 4,300 megahertz at 350 milliwatts. Ganun yung nangyayari. Sinusundan ba? O baka bigla kayong nagulat? Okay. Okay. So, kung titignan natin dito, okay, si radar altimeters operates between -20 and 2,500 feet. So, the radar altimeter is primarily used for decision height alerts and also a ground proximity warning system. Gear warning, rising runway for category 2 or category 3A approaches, symbol on the flight director and is used in the helicopter during vertical descent in darkness as well as autopilot, auto throttle, and flight data recorder. Baka tanong nyo din dito sa akin, Sir, bakit bakit -20? Ano ba siya? Okay. Okay, bakit siya -20? Okay? Kasi kung ito yung land, yan. Bakit siya nag-ooperate ng between -20? So, ibig sabihin, pag ito yung land, mas mababa pa, di ba? Okay. Hindi naman. Dahil nasa computed nila, okay, ng aircraft. Kasi ito yung aircraft. Ayan. Computed nila yung nandito nakalocate yung sabihin nating radar altimeter. Nandiyan sa ilalim, example lang. Okay. Kaya sila nag-operate between -20 and 2,500 feet because din sa system and dahil din sa may landing gear. Okay? Sa landing gear, why? Kasi kung dito sila mag-i-start ng let's say 0, ayan. Okay? Ang i-measure nila yung nasa body ng aircraft, hindi dito. So kung dito sila nag-measure, okay, yung distance nito, okay, baka naisip na nila is mataas pa sila pero sumasayad na pala yung landing gear. Okay, nasusundan ba? Kaya naka-20, nakausod ng konti yung pag-operate nila ng -20 dahil sa location ng radar altimeter dahil lalo na pag nag-extend yung okay, yung landing gear. So, kasi ulitin natin, ginagamit din si radar altimeter primarily for decision height and ground proximity warning system. Okay? And yan, for category 2 and 3 approaches. So, dun siya ginagamit. So, lalo na pag nagla-landing. Nagla-landing, kailangan nila ma-measure yung between height from the landing gear mismo, lalo na pag retract ba tawag doon? Nakalabas na si landing gear. So yan, kung titignan lang natin dito ulit. Okay? The radar altimeter operation, okay, at 4,300 millihertz, and the frequency shift 50 times per second of the resting frequency. Okay, para maintindihan natin to, bakit sir low frequency tapos biglang high frequency? Dahil dito. Yan, babasahin lang natin ha. So the airplane is shown over a point on the ground. At this instant, the radar altimeter is transmitting the carrier A at lowest frequency. So the signals travels to the ground and reflected back to the airplane at the same frequency. So let's say A, same lang. So the returning signal reaches the airplane after the interval of time, the number of microseconds it takes for a round trip. Okay? So, simplehan lang natin. Pag nag-send ka ng signal, pababa, let's say 1 second, babalik siya ng 1 second. Ganun yung nangyari. Pinaka-simple. Because time has passed, the radar altimeter is now transmitting on the higher frequency. So the system has two frequency to process. A, the reflection from the ground, and B, the higher frequency. So rate quantities are now known, so the amount of carrier frequency is changing. So yung elapsed time for the signal to make the round trip and the speed of the signal is nag-iiba, lalo na pag gumagalaw yung aircraft. Okay? So ulitin lang natin, meron silang two frequency na pinoprocess. So pag magtatransmit siya ng A lang, which is yung normal, yung A, magre-reflect lang siya from the ground, and B at higher frequency. So, para na di-differentiate nila yung pagkakaiba nung tawag dito, nung terrain na dinadaanan nila. Okay? So, ulitin lang natin, pag may nag-send ng A, okay, meron ding babalik yung A, and then nag-process. So, nandito na si B kasi may magpo-process ulit na panibago. Okay? Hindi lang siya puro A. Kasi pag puro A lang, may possible na mag-iba na yung terrain dito sa unahan nila. Okay? Kaya nandyan yung B ng higher frequency. Ganun din, para lang din mas mabilis yung pagkuha nila for the next one than the normal. Okay? Kaya pag may nag-iba yung terrain, here and there, nade-determine nila kung nagkakaroon na ng changes ng height. Nasusundan daw o nalilito dun sa part na yun? Nasusundan? Nasusundan? Okay, nasusundan. Walang tanong, Okay, good. So, ito, yung image na to, pinapakita lang dito yung radar altimeter na display na possible nyo nakikita. Siyempre, yung dito sa taas, more on sa mga bigger aircraft, and ito ang nakikita sa mga smaller aircraft. Okay? Parang ano lang yan, digital and analog. And then, ito yung mga nakikita nyong antennas sa radio altimeter. And madalas yan ilalagay sa bottom part ng aircraft. Okay? Ito yung transceiver. Ito yung machine na nagtatransmit and nag-receive ng mga signal na yun. Ayan. So, dito, si radar altimeter's antenna, diyan yung nakikita. Yan. Yung sinasabi natin sa ilalim ng aircraft. So, nakita nyo na, nandyan meron yan transmitter 1, transmitter 2, and receiver 1 and receiver 2. So, system redundancy pa din. Pag nasira isa, meron pang isang radar altimeter. So, this one. Okay. Limitation. So, meron ding limitations pagdating kay radar altimeter. Okay? Since the wave are emitted downwards relation to the fuselage, there are certain pitch and banks limit. Okay? So, naintindihan nyo na yung pitch and banks. So, pinaka-fast, pinakamabilis intindihin is yung pitch is for 30 degrees. Okay? So, pag more than 30 degrees na yung pitch nyo, okay, hindi na magre-record or hindi na siya makaka-transmit ng maayos. And then, pag bank naman, okay, up to 60 degrees. Okay, syempre, ang pag-send kasi ng signal niya is downward lang. Okay, so pag higher, okay, ganun na yung pag-send niya. So, hindi na appropriate yung magiging height na makaka-determine kay radar altimeter or yung madedetermine yung height above ground level. Oh, now this. Okay? Mga limitation din. Isa din sa mga limitation. So, kaya minsan bawal talaga mag-cellphone or kina-cancel out nila yung mga signal ng aircraft. Pero minsan, yan, before yan. Pero nagiging advanced naman yung mga aircraft. So, kahit meron kang 5G mobile network, is hindi siya naka-interrupt. Some. So, interference in the radio altimeter signal may occur when flying near the antennas or having device on board that use the same frequency band. Okay, so ang nangyayari, nagkakaroon siya ng interruption pag same frequency bands yung ginagamit nyo. Okay, so simply dahil nagtatransmit sila ng signal and then yung example, yung 5G mobile network mo ay nagtatransmit din. So, nagkakaroon ng signal interruption kung ano yung marireceive or matatransmit nilang signal. Ganun lang naman. Question. Walang question? Wala kayong question? Sure wala kayong question Okay, so pag wala kayong question, that's the lesson for today.